So in 2005, California attempted to pass a law that would ban the sale of violent video games to minors. And this was a hot topic of debate. Lots of people had very heated debates on whether the law should be upheld or repealed, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court decided in a 7-2 majority decision that California could not ban the sale of violent video games. In his majority report, Justice Antonin Scalia said, and I quote, "Studies purporting to show a causal link between violent video games and violent behavior have no place in the courtroom. There is absolutely no evidence to support this causal correlation, and California cannot ban the sale." One might wonder, how can this Supreme Court justice so strongly believe this? What kind of evidence is he drawing upon to make this conclusion? It turns out there's lots of evidence. In 2012, Stetson University conducted a study examining experiments that purport to show a causal link between violent video games and hostility. And what they found is that these studies are very, very much flawed in how they're showing a causal link to hostility. In fact, these experiments used aggression factors such as whether or not the person would, force another person to eat hot sauce, force another person to listen to unpleasant music, which do not translate at all to real-world violence and hostility. They're just not accurate measures. Additionally, these experiments were only conducted over very short periods of time, which does not translate to how people actually play violent video games in the real world. On top of this, a U.S. Department of Justice and Secret Service experiment interviewed attackers who were school shooters from 1975 to 2000. And what they found is that only 12% of these school shooters actually played violent video games in the first place and were heavily influenced by them. So when you look at this evidence, it's very clear to me that not only is there very little correlation between violent video games and violent behavior, studies that show a correlation between violent video games and violent behavior are very flawed.